He stood at the edge of my pool like he owned the place. Sunglasses on, chest puffed out, and said, "Get out. My mom says this pool is HOA property. You can't use it without her permission." The kid looked no older than 19, spoiled from head to toe. And he pointed at me like I was some trespasser sneaking into his backyard. I didn't even get a chance to ask who he was when he pulled out his phone and said loudly, "If you don't leave right now, I'm calling security. Mom says people like you always try to sneak in."
People like me.
That hit harder than the words themselves. I stayed quiet for a second, watching him walk around my pool deck like he was measuring it for his future kingdom. He even kicked my chair aside and said, "Rules are rules. And my mom is the HOA president. She can have you banned today." The confidence in his voice didn't match the shaking in his hands. But entitlement gives people strange courage. Before I could answer, he took a picture of me and muttered, "Mom will love this."
My jaw clenched.
Not because he tried to boss me around, but because he had no idea where he was standing. No idea whose pool this was. No idea who I was when he tried to grab my towel like he was throwing me out. I finally spoke slow and calm. "Son, you're making a mistake you won't forget?"
He smirked.
"Yeah, and what are you going to do? Call your imaginary lawyer?" I took one step closer, lowered my voice, and said the line that made the color drain from his face. "I don't call lawyers. I am the sheriff." And just like that, the first crack in his arrogance showed. The kid froze for a second, but entitlement doesn't die that easily. He forced a laugh, looked me up and down, and said, "Sheriff, yeah right. My mom deals with cops all the time. She knows every officer in this county. If you were really someone, she'd know you." He tried to walk past me, brushing his shoulder against mine like he still had some kind of authority left. But his voice cracked when he added, "Just wait till she gets here. She'll throw you out faster than you can blink." I watched him dial her number with shaky fingers. He kept glancing at me like he expected me to suddenly panic. But I just stood there silent, leaning against the railing while he paced in circles, whispering, "Yeah, Mom. He's refusing to leave. No idea who he is. Probably another one of those troublemakers from outside the HOA. Hurry up, troublemaker on my own property." The funniest part was that while he was calling, he kept inching closer to my security camera. Wide angle, crystal clear, recording every second. He didn't notice it, but he stepped right under it when he shouted, "Mom, get the HOA security team ready. We're going to make an example out of him today." And that was the moment I knew things were about to get messy because the HOA didn't even have a security team. They had 3 volunteers with walkie-talkies and too much free time. He hung up and gave me that fake confident smile again. "Mom's coming with security. You've got 2 minutes to leave." I stayed exactly where I was, folded my arms, and simply said, "Good.
I want her to come."
That bothered him more than anything. He squinted at me, confused, like he couldn't understand why a man he thought was powerless wasn't running scared, but he didn't know the truth. He didn't know the reason I wasn't worried. He didn't know that the person his mom was rushing over to confront was the same man the entire county called when they needed help. And he definitely didn't know what was about to pull into my driveway next because I heard the sound before he did. The familiar rumble of county patrol tires rolling on gravel.
His face palled.
He whispered, "No way. She called backup already." He had no idea those weren't her units.
They were mine.
The moment the patrol SUV turned into my driveway, the kid straightened his shoulders like he was about to greet his personal army. He even waved his hand and shouted, "Over here, officer. This man is trespassing. My mom is HOA president. She sent me to handle this." The deputy stepped out slowly, sunglasses on, hand resting near his belt. But he didn't look at the kid, not even once. His eyes were locked on me. "Sheriff," he said with a nod, calm and professional. The kid's smile dropped so fast it looked painful.
He blinked, confused. "Sheriff."
No, he's lying. My mom said the sheriff is some older guy with a mustache. This can't be him. The deputy didn't even bother arguing. He walked right past the kid and whispered to me, "Sir, we got your message. You good here?" His tone said he already knew the answer. The kid stumbled backward. "Well, wait. You can't ignore me. My mom is on her way. You're supposed to listen to the HOA." The deputy turned his head slightly. "Son, HOA rules don't apply on the sheriff's private property." The boy's mouth fell open. He looked at me as if seeing me for the first time. This is your pool?" I gave him a slow nod. And you've been trying to throw me out of my own house for the last 10 minutes. His phone slipped a little in his hand.
His voice trembled.
Mom said this whole area belongs to the HO. She said the new owner was some nobody who wouldn't fight back.
I stepped closer.
Did she also tell you to take pictures of people and threaten them? Did she tell you to impersonate HOA security? His breathing grew uneven.
He didn't answer.
That's when another car screeched to a stop outside. Expensive, shiny, and loud enough to shake the air. The kid's face lit up with desperate relief.
She's here.
But when his mom got out, something was off. She wasn't storming in with confidence. She wasn't yelling. She was staring at the patrol car, at the deputy, then at me. And the moment her eyes landed on me, all the color left her face because she recognized exactly who I was. She whispered, barely audible,
"Oh no."
The kid stared at her confused. "Mom, why are you scared?"
But she couldn't even speak.
She knew something her son didn't. Something that made her knees almost buckle. She knew she just sent her spoiled boy to pick a fight with the one man she'd been hiding from for months. The woman finally found her voice, but it shook. "Honey, get away from him." Her son frowned, not understanding until she whispered the truth she had been hiding.
"He's the sheriff."
The same sheriff who warned me last year about fake notices and HOA harassment. The kid stepped back like he'd touched an electric fence.
"Mom, you never told me that." She didn't answer.
She just kept staring at the patrol SUV, then at the cameras around my pool. She knew everything was recorded. Every threat, every fake claim, every lie. I spoke calmly. "You sent your son to throw me out of my own pool. You tried to scare neighbors with fake authority, and now you're trespassing on the sheriff's property." She raised her hand slightly. "Listen, we can talk about this. Maybe there's a misunderstanding." "There's no misunderstanding."
I cut in.
"There's just evidence." The deputy walked forward and held out a clipboard. "Ma'am, you're being cited for harassment, trespassing, and impersonating an authority figure through your son. You'll need to come with us."
The kid panicked. "No, you can't arrest my mom.
She runs the HOA.
I looked at him.
Rules don't work when you make them up. The woman tried one last desperate excuse. "Please, this will ruin everything." I shook my head. "You did that yourself." She was escorted to the patrol car while her son stood frozen, eyes wide, ego shattered. The driveway went silent except for the sound of the door closing as they took her away. Before leaving, the deputy nodded to me. "All taken care of, Sheriff." I walked back to my pool, picked up my towel, and glanced once at the kid who still hadn't moved. He whispered, voice cracking, "I didn't know." I answered quietly,
"That's the problem.
You never cared to." And as he slowly backed away toward the road, all that confidence he walked in with was gone, replaced by the first lesson he'd ever learned about real authority. I sat down by my pool again, calm as ever. Some people fight for power, some pretend to have it. But real power doesn't need to shout. The end. Please visit my new channel, link in the description. Watch the videos, enjoy them, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't miss out on the new HOA stories.